Hello everybody, First Month is here. Today I'm shooting the first video, in the series, I would say a tip or knife tip series, and today is probably the very important for new guys, for newbies in knife world. I hope in these series some let's say even professionals or people which are in knife world much longer than I am will find something interesting for them. But anyway, and that's dream for many guys. That's why this could be the most advanced. Also, first tip is to make your own knife pattern, knife design as soon as possible. Why? Because it can save lots of money. It's kind of weird, because if you make a pattern, so knife design, then you have to find probably, if you can't do it for yourself, you are a knife maker, then this is probably not for you. But anyway, if you have to find a knife maker which who makes this your pattern, let's say exactly as you want. Maybe he gonna help you with choosing materials and these things, but that's another part what to learn from the knife world, about steels, about coatings, about blade shapes, about blade thickness, about grinds, about hardness, about lots of things, maybe sheets after that. But anyway, if I put this one aside, the first, when you touch, and the best way, of course, use as many knives as possible. So let's sometimes go to shop. That's what I've done years ago. I went to shop and I asked, may I have this one in hand? May I have this one, this one, this one, this one? Of course. Then I bought relatively many knives. My wife says, yeah, I got many knives. I said, not really, because I see other guys which got absolutely huge amount of knives compared to me. But some guys got 1, 2, 3, 5 knives and said, well, that's enough, so I'm in that kind of way. I would much more knives than I really need. That's absolutely true, but I try to rotate them and use them. But what's important, to use them. So I bought many knives during the years. Of course, I made my own pattern, my own designs from my childhood. Probably I found some just recently. I found 12 years old pattern, just finished knife, just to send it to some knife maker and said, do this one if you can. For me, important is when I said it may save a lot of money, because you ask some custom knife maker. Sounds weird, right? But after those experience, when I bought dozens and dozens knives, there is lots of money in it. So if I can have lots of knives in my hand, then I ask my friends, can I borrow your knife and try this one and this one? Especially in a community where people are, my friends got different knives, but usually now they came to me and ask me to borrow me, please, this knife, or can I try this one and that one. Sometimes I gave them the knife, so let's see, try this one with this knife and this knife, try it, how you feel, what you say about that. And that's the way how to learn what I want from the knife, from the design. Of course, that's one very important thing, is to understand what I want from the knife. Should be an EDC, should be a slicer, should be a kitchen knife, should be a all around like camping knife. Should it be a survival knife? So if I set this one, and I got plenty of knives in my hand with different thickness, different grinds, and these things, then probably I can do my own pattern, because I know what I want from the knife. I try to choose, the thickness. Usually I'm working from 3 millimeters to, let's say, 6.5. But of course, the 6.5, like quarter of an inch, but there could be 7 millimeters, like my SOG there. So I got 7 millimeters thick spine. That's my knife thickest spine. What I have. Maybe the cold steel Gurkha Kukri Plast has a slightly thicker spine just behind the handle, then it narrows a bit. Anyway, 7 meters and go and down. More for the survival knives and these harder it should be, or it is from 4.8, which should be 3/16 to, let's say, 0.21, which is about 6 millimeters thick spine. So I'm working more on that side. But again, if that should be chopper and heavy knife for these, I go for the thickest. So that's why how I chose and I designed my cookery. Important is to say the handle shape is not mine. I've designed, I like took that handle and I added the blade design. Why? Firstly, I like the cookeries. Second, there is really short amount of cookeries in about 8 inches blade, made of modern material with a coating and these things. So that's why. So this is the original. This is the Charon 3. This is the same handle on it, of course. And when I got this knife and I've seen it, it reminds me some Microtech Karahi knife, or in general design, or Emerson Commander, which I got. So I mean the blade design, but I like it as and this handle screams to me, that should be a great chopper. Why to change something if I got it in hand, because I had already this knife. I said, well, no, I don't want something, that's why I designed. I took the handle design and I added this one. So I partially designed this knife, like, because I use this one, but in general I did, and what's important, I know why I put this one there, why this is straight, what are these measurements, why the tip is exactly on the position, why the choil is here longer than this here. All these things I've learned, why the curvature is here, what is the point here, how is that, these things around. This is not like accident. I wanted it there exactly, and Radim Dax, the knifesmith, did it really, really nicely. So it is like almost identical, almost. It's absolutely great. So I'm really great for that. And as I said, I carry this knife now 1 year and 3 months, 1.25 of year as a chopper. It goes always with me. If I don't need a machete or some heavier chopper, then it should be a tracker, because that tracker is heavier, or I can take a cookery or even the Warcraft Tanto, the longest, because that's even heavier. It's got about 4 ounces. It's 4 ounces heavier than this one and much longer. So, but in general, this one goes with me every time I go outside for a trip, to my cabin and these things. I craft with these. I've learned this one. It's a great knife. So as I said, and it saves me lots of money. Why I said that? Because from the time I said, why should I buy another knife? For what? And that's the way. That's what I mean by this tip. So make your own pattern. You learn design. If this one should be here, if this one, if you want to have it there, like for example on this one, this is the Extrema ratio. If you like the finger choil for 1 finger, or you want to have for 2 fingers, like here, or you don't need any finger choil, like this Lion Steel M5. If you like this palm swell grooving here, it's just flat, and lots of things, the grind, the saber grind, or full flat grind on this one, or like a low saber grind on these. Lots of things to learn, but after time, it's hard to say if I get this without this what I've learned, but I both, and it's possible to buy today lots of knives which are not as expensive, made of, let's say, CRKT, Condor does those knives, and of course that Swedish company, I forget that. Okay, anyway, I don't have any knife from them, but anyway, lots of relatively cheap knives today, 1075, 1085, the 80 CR. I don't know, like what's the steel? Okay, anyway, the carbon steel which they use today, there is CR2, 80 CR2, I believe, is that carbon steel, which is another comparison with the carbon steel. The 440C, AWS 8 steel, these are like kind of basic steels. Knives made of them are usually not as expensive, and it's easy to test lots of knives, as I said, especially with friends, then touch and use as many knives as possible, and then do your pattern when you said, okay, I know about what I want. It doesn't matter if the first pattern, if the first knife you make the design, it will be not exactly what you want, but anyway, you have to put everything you want probably, and after that the result, I'll say, okay, I want to have it, this one slightly longer, this one slightly thicker, and these things. But after that, you're gonna much more time realize that you want this one. Imagine there's lots of knife companies, knife makers there's 1,000 knives, 100 knives a year, every year, new hundreds knives new year, mostly folders today actually, okay, but there is definitely dozens and dozens fixed blades, new fixed blades every year. It is hard to pick the one, because always when I buy, that's why I got so many knives. I said, I got this one. Let's say I said, remember Silent Hero. I said, okay, it's excellent, it's a great knife, I love it, really. But it's a 95, it can rust. Okay, I'd like to have it with better steel. It's possible to have it with better steel. You know, they use a 154 CM or CPM 154 S35 VN as a premium. Why not? Again, we got the LMAX steel, we got these powder steels, of course, the CPM 3, as I said, we got a Sleipner steel, we got many steels. My tip is always to go more to the at least semi-rust resistant steel. I don't need carbon steel exactly, because I like to have that corrosion resistance. It's always better. Today's, it's always better. Not before, let's say not 20 years, 30 years ago and more. Today's we got super steels, which can stand lots of things, lots of abusing. It's not like that, you know, you take stainless steel, you want to chop something, it breaks. Not today, at least if the manufacturer is all right. So it's not today, it's past, it's history. Forget about that. Go for that at least semi-resistant steel, like D2 steel. Okay, that's more fragile than, let's say, the Sleipner. Sleipner is very, very great steel for these. That's why I like it. Okay, there's so many steels. Materials, I like the micartas. Micarta handles, especially tops knives, great. Bark River, great, nice designs. Micarta handles, but slip something. G10 handles here, great one. Not as fine touchy in hand. I don't like that much wooden handles. Why? Because I'm always aware of they can crack much more easier than these materials. So I'm not in that. You can't see any knife with a wooden handle in my collection today. So that's what I wanna say. So that's why you can save lots of money. So tip number 1, as soon as possible, make your own knife design, knife pattern, and let it live. So ask some knife maker and let the knife maker to make it, and try it, test it, and do the second one, because in the time, whole collection, you might save lots of money. Thank you very much. Have a great time. Bye.